The wrestling world erupted into absolute chaos when Jade Cargill stepped into the ring during a highly anticipated match that nobody saw coming. What started as another electrifying performance quickly turned into one of the most talked about moments in recent wrestling history, and trust me when I say this, you're going to want to stick around because what happened next had fans jumping out of their seats and social media exploding within minutes. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, do it now because we're diving deep into every shocking detail of this unbelievable incident. Jade Cargill has built her reputation on being absolutely unstoppable in the ring. Her presence commands attention the moment she walks through those curtains, and her athletic prowess combined with her stunning appearance has made her one of the most recognized faces in professional wrestling today. Standing at an impressive height with a physique that screams power and dedication, she's defeated countless opponents and carved out a legacy that few can match. Every time she enters the arena, fans know they're about to witness something special, and this particular night was supposed to be no different. The venue was packed to capacity with thousands of screaming fans who had traveled from all corners of the country to witness this spectacular event. The energy in the building was electric as anticipation built throughout the evening. Match after match had delivered incredible action, but everyone knew the real highlight was yet to come. When the announcement echoed through the speakers that Jade Cargill would be competing, the crowd absolutely lost their minds. Chants filled the arena as people stood on their feet, phones ready to capture every moment of what they expected to be another dominant performance from one of wrestling's biggest stars. Jade's entrance music hit and the lights dimmed to create that perfect atmosphere that sends chills down your spine. Smoke filled the entrance ramp as the familiar beat pounded through the sound system. Fans were on the edge of their seats waiting for that first glimpse of the superstar who had promised to deliver yet another unforgettable showing. The anticipation was reaching fever pitch as everyone craned their necks toward the entrance, and then she appeared. The roar from the crowd was deafening as Jade stepped out onto the stage, striking her signature pose with confidence radiating from every pore. But something was different this time. As Jade made her way down the ramp with that characteristic swagger, some eagle-eyed fans in the front rows started noticing something unusual about her outfit. Professional wrestling costumes are designed to be both eye-catching and functional, able to withstand the intense physical demands of matches that can last anywhere from several minutes to well over an hour. These outfits go through rigorous testing and are carefully constructed by specialized designers who understand the unique requirements of sports entertainment. Everything from the stitching to the fabric choice is deliberate and purposeful. Jade's costume for this particular evening was stunning, featuring vibrant colors and intricate details that caught the light beautifully as she moved. The design was bold and reflected her larger-than-life personality perfectly. She had clearly put thought into this look, wanting to make a statement as she always does. The outfit hugged her athletic frame and showcased the incredible physical condition she maintains through countless hours in the gym. As she climbed the ring steps and stepped through the ropes, cameras captured every angle while commentators hyped up the upcoming action. The match began with the usual intensity that fans have come to expect from Jade Cargill performances. She locked up with her opponent and immediately took control, demonstrating the strength and technical skill that have made her such a dominant force. Power moves were executed with precision as she tossed her opponent around the ring like they weighed nothing. The crowd was fully invested, cheering every slam and strike while photographers ringside snapped away to capture the action for fans around the world who were watching on their screens at home. Several minutes into the match, as Jade was setting up for one of her signature power moves, the unthinkable happened. During a particularly athletic maneuver that required her to lift her opponent high into the air, there was a visible tear in her costume. It happened so quickly that at first only those closest to the ring noticed what had occurred. But in today's age where hundreds of cameras are recording from every conceivable angle, nothing stays hidden for long. The wardrobe malfunction was immediate and undeniable, occurring right in the middle of the ring under the brightest lights imaginable. Jade's reaction was absolutely professional despite the shocking nature of what had just happened. Without missing a beat, she continued executing the move she had started while simultaneously trying to adjust her attire. The level of composure she displayed in that moment was nothing short of extraordinary. Most people would have panicked or stopped what they were doing entirely, but Jade is a seasoned professional who has spent years perfecting her craft. She knew that the show must go on regardless of any technical difficulties or unexpected complications. The referee immediately noticed what had happened and moved into position to help shield Jade from the cameras as much as possible. In professional wrestling, referees are trained to handle all sorts of unexpected situations, and this official acted with quick thinking and professionalism. Meanwhile, Jade's opponent also realized what was happening and adjusted their positioning to provide additional coverage. There's an unspoken code among wrestlers to look out for one another, and this moment perfectly demonstrated that solidarity. Ringside crew members sprang into action within seconds. A staff member rushed toward the ring with what appeared to be a jacket or covering of some kind. The timekeeper was signaling frantically to the backstage area where producers were likely scrambling to figure out how to handle the situation. The commentators at the announce table had to think on their feet, trying to call the action while being mindful of the delicate situation unfolding before them. Their voices betrayed their surprise even as they attempted to maintain their professional demeanor. The crowd's reaction was a mixture of shock, concern, and disbelief. Some fans covered their mouths in surprise while others immediately looked down at their phones, perhaps checking if others were seeing what they were seeing. There were gasps throughout the arena as word spread from those who had witnessed it firsthand to those in the back rows who weren't quite sure what had caused the commotion. The atmosphere shifted dramatically from pure excitement about the athletic competition to worry about one of their favorite performers. Jade quickly rolled out of the ring and grabbed the covering that had been brought to her. She wrapped it around herself while still maintaining her character and not breaking the illusion of the performance. Even in this compromising situation, she found a way to stay in the moment and keep the story of the match moving forward. Her opponent followed her lead perfectly, maintaining the intensity of their confrontation while respecting the need for the temporary pause in action. Security personnel formed a barrier around the ringside area to prevent any unauthorized photography or recording from fans who might have been trying to capture inappropriate images. In modern venues, security protocols for situations like this are well established, but they still require split-second coordination. The team worked seamlessly to protect Jade's dignity while allowing the event to continue. Medical personnel were also on standby, ready to assist if needed, though thankfully this was purely a wardrobe issue and not a physical injury. Backstage chaos was undoubtedly erupting as producers, costume designers, and company officials tried to assess the situation and determine the best course of action. Should they pause the match entirely? Should they cut to commercial if this was being broadcast? How quickly could they get Jade into a new outfit? These decisions needed to be made in real time with potentially millions of viewers watching. The pressure on everyone involved was immense. A backup costume was located and rushed to ringside within minutes. The efficiency of the backstage crew in handling this emergency situation was impressive. Jade was escorted to a private area where she could change safely and quickly. The professionalism with which everyone handled this unexpected crisis showed the level of preparation and training that goes into producing live wrestling events. Nothing is ever truly predictable when dealing with live performances, and having contingency plans for various scenarios is crucial. While Jade was changing, the broadcast team had to fill time and keep the audience engaged. They discussed the match that had been taking place, highlighted upcoming events, and generally tried to maintain the energy that had been building throughout the evening. The live crowd remained supportive, starting chants to show their appreciation for Jade and their understanding of the difficult situation. Wrestling fans are often criticized unfairly, but in moments like this, they demonstrated genuine care and respect for the performers who put their bodies on the line for entertainment. When Jade finally returned to the ring in her new outfit, the ovation she received was thunderous. Fans rose to their feet in a show of solidarity and respect. They understood that what had happened was beyond her control and that she had handled it with grace and professionalism. The cheers echoed throughout the arena as she climbed back through the ropes, and you could see the appreciation in her expression even as she maintained her tough persona. This moment of connection between performer and audience was powerful and genuine. The match resumed with even more intensity than before. Jade seemed determined to deliver an outstanding performance and not let the wardrobe malfunction define this event. She unleashed a flurry of offense that had the crowd roaring their approval. Every move was executed with extra emphasis, every strike landed with authority. Her opponent matched this intensity, and together they created an exciting final sequence that had fans on their feet. The near falls and dramatic moments came one after another, building to a crescendo that had everyone invested in the outcome. When the match finally concluded, Jade stood victorious as her music played throughout the arena. She celebrated her win while the crowd showed their appreciation for how she had handled an incredibly difficult situation. Other wrestlers came out from the back to show their support, hugging her and raising her arms in triumph. This display of locker room unity was touching and showed the tight bonds that exist behind the scenes in professional wrestling. Everyone knew that what Jade had gone through could have happened to anyone, and the respect for how she handled it was universal. Social media erupted in the hours following the event. Fans from around the world shared their reactions, with the overwhelming majority praising Jade for her professionalism and composure. Fellow wrestlers from various companies tweeted their support and shared similar stories of wardrobe issues they had faced during their careers. The wrestling community rallied around one of their own, demonstrating the supportive culture that exists despite the competitive nature of the business. Trending topics related to the incident dominated platforms for hours as people discussed every aspect of what had transpired. The costume manufacturer issued a statement taking full responsibility for the malfunction. They explained that despite rigorous quality control measures, sometimes defects occur that aren't caught during the inspection process. The company apologized profusely to Jade and assured everyone that they were conducting a thorough investigation to prevent similar incidents in the future. They also offered to work with her personally on all future costume designs to ensure maximum durability and safety. This response was well received and showed corporate accountability. Wrestling industry veterans weighed in on the incident, many sharing their own horror stories from decades of performing. Wardrobe malfunctions have been a risk since the earliest days of professional wrestling, and numerous legends have experienced similar situations throughout their careers. These stories provided context and reminded everyone that despite the scripted nature of wrestling storylines, the risks and challenges faced by performers are very real. The physical demands combined with elaborate costumes create a perfect storm for potential issues. Jade herself eventually addressed the incident through her social media channels. Her statement was classy and measured, thanking fans for their support and praising the quick actions of the crew, referee, and her opponent. She acknowledged that while the situation was embarrassing, it hadn't diminished her love for performing or her commitment to delivering the best possible entertainment for wrestling fans. Her words resonated with followers who appreciated her honesty and strength. She turned what could have been a career-defining negative moment into an example of resilience and professionalism. The incident sparked broader conversations about costume design in professional wrestling. Industry experts discussed the challenges of creating outfits that are visually striking while also being functional and durable enough to withstand the rigors of athletic performance. Some suggested that more stringent testing protocols should be implemented, while others argued that despite best efforts, occasional malfunctions are inevitable when dealing with clothing subjected to such extreme stress. These discussions led to actual changes in how some companies approach costume creation and quality control. Training seminars for wrestlers now include segments on handling unexpected wardrobe situations. Young performers are taught techniques for quickly assessing problems, adjusting on the fly, and working with referees and opponents to manage issues while maintaining the flow of a match. What happened to Jade has become a teaching moment throughout the industry, helping prepare the next generation for the unpredictable nature of live performance. Her handling of the situation is held up as the gold standard for professionalism under pressure. The venue itself reviewed its emergency protocols following the incident. Management examined how quickly they were able to respond, whether security measures were adequate, and if there were any improvements that could be made for future events. This after-action analysis is common practice for professional organizations that want to learn from every situation. The findings led to some minor adjustments in how certain emergencies are handled, making the venue even better prepared for unexpected circumstances. Fan reaction videos flooded video platforms in the days following the event. People who had been in attendance shared their perspective from various locations throughout the arena. The diversity of viewpoints provided a comprehensive picture of how the incident unfolded and how different sections of the crowd reacted. These videos also showed the overwhelmingly positive and supportive atmosphere that prevailed despite the shocking nature of what had occurred. The wrestling fanbase demonstrated maturity and compassion that sometimes gets overlooked. Merchandise featuring supportive messages for Jade saw a significant spike in sales following the incident. Fans wanted to show their solidarity and appreciation for how she had handled everything. This financial support was meaningful not just for the revenue it generated but for the message it sent about the loyal fanbase that professional wrestlers can count on during difficult times. The community came together in a tangible way that made a real difference. Other female wrestlers in the industry spoke out about the unique challenges they face regarding costume choices and wardrobe concerns. The conversation expanded beyond this single incident to address broader issues about the expectations placed on women performers and how companies can better support them. These discussions were productive and led to meaningful dialogue between wrestlers, designers, and company officials about creating safer and more comfortable working conditions while still maintaining the visual spectacle that fans expect. Jade's career trajectory actually benefited from how she handled this situation. Promoters and company officials took note of her professionalism and grace under pressure. She received offers for high-profile matches and storylines that elevated her position within the industry. What could have been a devastating setback instead became proof of her character and abilities beyond just her in-ring skills. Sponsors also saw her positively, leading to endorsement opportunities that might not have materialized otherwise. The referee who had helped protect Jade during the incident received recognition from wrestling organizations for his quick thinking and professionalism. His actions were highlighted as an example of how officials should handle unexpected situations, and he was awarded for his conduct. This acknowledgement was important because referees often work behind the scenes without much public recognition despite being crucial to the success of every match. His moment in the spotlight was well deserved. Technical production teams reviewed footage from the incident to identify lessons learned about camera direction during sensitive situations. Discussions took place about balancing the need to capture the action with the responsibility to protect performers from exploitation during vulnerable moments. New guidelines were established for camera operators and production directors to follow when similar situations arise in the future. The industry showed its commitment to treating performers with dignity and respect. The opponent who had helped Jade during the incident earned praise from throughout the wrestling world. Their quick thinking and supportive actions demonstrated the unspoken code that exists among performers to look out for one another regardless of whether they're portraying rivals or allies on screen. This wrestler received increased opportunities and recognition for showing character when it mattered most. The incident became part of their story as well, showcasing qualities that extend beyond athletic ability. Costume designers across the wrestling industry reviewed their own procedures and materials in response to what happened. Professional organizations held seminars and workshops focused on preventing similar malfunctions through better fabric choices, reinforced stitching techniques, and more comprehensive stress testing. The incident catalyzed positive changes that benefited performers throughout the industry, making everyone safer and reducing the likelihood of future wardrobe emergencies. Innovation often comes from learning from unexpected situations. Legal teams examined whether there were any liability issues or contractual obligations that needed to be addressed. While this might seem cold or calculated, it's a necessary part of the business side of professional wrestling. Ensuring that performers are protected and that companies are taking appropriate precautions is important for the long-term health of the industry. These reviews led to updated contracts and better defined responsibilities regarding costume provision and quality assurance. Psychologists and sports mental health professionals discussed the emotional impact that such a public incident could have on a performer. They offered insights into coping mechanisms and the importance of support systems for athletes who face embarrassing or traumatic situations in front of thousands or millions of people. Some wrestlers sought counseling or therapy to help process their own past experiences, showing that taking care of mental health is just as important as physical conditioning. The conversation helped reduce stigma around seeking professional help. Behind-the-scenes footage that was later released showed just how chaotic those moments were from perspectives viewers never saw. Producers scrambling to make decisions, crew members rushing to help, wrestlers backstage watching monitors with concern, all of this painted a fuller picture of the human response to an unexpected crisis. This transparency helped fans appreciate the complexity of producing live wrestling events and the dedication of everyone involved in making sure shows go on successfully. Jade's subsequent matches were watched with intense interest as fans wondered if she might be hesitant or if the incident would affect her confidence. She put those concerns to rest immediately, performing with the same bold aggression and charisma that had made her a star in the first place. If anything, she seemed even more determined to prove that one wardrobe malfunction couldn't define her or diminish her abilities. Each successful performance further cemented her legacy as a true professional. The wrestling company that employed Jade used the incident as an opportunity to highlight their commitment to performer safety and well-being. They released statements and took concrete actions demonstrating that they take these matters seriously and are always working to improve conditions for their roster. This proactive approach helped maintain trust with both performers and fans, showing that they're responsive to issues and willing to make necessary changes. Corporate responsibility matters in building long-term success. Interviews with Jade in the months following the incident showed a person who had grown from the experience. She spoke candidly about the initial shock and embarrassment, but also about how the overwhelming support helped her process what had happened. She became an advocate for other wrestlers facing difficult situations, offering advice and encouragement based on her own experience. Her willingness to be vulnerable and honest endeared her even more to fans who already respected her abilities. The costume from that night was retired and never used again, but it became a piece of wrestling history discussed in documentaries and retrospectives. Museums dedicated to professional wrestling memorabilia expressed interest in acquiring it as part of their collections, though Jade understandably chose to keep it private. The outfit represented both a difficult moment and a triumph of professionalism over adversity. It symbolized the unpredictable nature of live performance and the resilience required to succeed in professional wrestling. Training facilities began incorporating wardrobe emergency drills into their practice sessions. Young wrestlers would rehearse how to handle various scenarios including torn gear, lost pieces, or broken closures. These exercises helped prepare them mentally and physically for situations they might encounter during their careers. The goal was to make the response automatic so that if something did happen in front of a crowd, performers could react instinctively without panic. Preparation prevents poor performance even in the most unexpected circumstances. Fellow female wrestlers organized a show of solidarity, wearing matching symbolic accessories during their matches to honor Jade and support all women in wrestling. This grassroots movement from the roster itself demonstrated the bonds between performers and their commitment to supporting one another. The gesture was appreciated by fans who recognized it as a genuine display of unity rather than a corporate marketing ploy. Real relationships and authentic care create powerful moments. The incident was eventually referenced in Jade's storylines in subtle ways that acknowledged what happened without exploiting it. Creative teams worked with her to craft narratives that incorporated her real-life resilience into her character development. This blending of reality and fiction is one of wrestling's unique aspects, and when done respectfully it can create compelling storytelling that resonates deeply with audiences. Jade's character grew stronger and more complex as a result. Years later, this incident continues to be discussed as a defining moment not because of the wardrobe malfunction itself, but because of everything that followed. It became a case study in crisis management, performer professionalism, and community support. Wrestling schools reference it in their curricula, and industry professionals cite it when discussing best practices. What could have been remembered as just an embarrassing accident instead became a testament to character and resilience. The lesson here extends far beyond professional wrestling. In any field, unexpected problems will arise, and how we respond to them defines us more than the problems themselves. Jade Cargill showed the world that grace under pressure, commitment to professionalism, and the support of a caring community can transform a potential disaster into an opportunity for growth. Her handling of that unbelievable night in the ring will be remembered long after specific match results are forgotten, inspiring performers across all entertainment industries to face their challenges with courage and dignity. If you found this deep dive into one of wrestling's most shocking moments as captivating as we did, make sure you subscribe to our channel right now so you never miss another story from the world of professional wrestling, where the unexpected is always just around the corner.